You know, at Grassroots Motorsports magazine, we introduce a lot of people to the track. It's one of the great joys of being in this business. And a guy who is no stranger to the track, friend of ours, Randy Pobst here. Now, Randy, you and I have been around tracks for most of our lives.
Yeah.
And we've also had the pleasure of introducing people to this track lifestyle. And we want to talk to you today a little bit about somebody who may be just starting to get their feet wet and what they should think about, what they should maybe do a little bit before they head out to the track and while they're heading out to the track, and just how to adopt this new lifestyle of somebody who enjoys themselves in the motorsports community.
The greatest thing about motorsports on a track is that it is legal and it's relatively safe. And it's a whole new world. You're driving much harder and much faster than you ever should have on the street, and longer too, not just a curve. And that requires a lot of skill to stay as safe as possible. Now we're looking at a road course here, the Firm. This is one of the best, really, in terms of safety. Yeah. I don't see many walls, trees, things here, but still, you're going fast, and driving on the track is difficult. Don't learn how to drive on a track. Isn't that funny advice?
Yeah.
Hey, what's your first advice before doing a track day? Don't do it. Don't go autocross. Autocross is racing in a big parking lot around traffic cones like this one right here, only smaller so you don't do as much scratching on your car. There you can get comfortable with how the car feels at the limit when you're going as fast as you can. That's how I started. I learned about that. I liked going around corners when I was a kid. I had a Datsun 510 with some suspension. I didn't know anything, and I loved going around corners. But when I got on the clock at an autocross, it transformed the experience for me. And you may be one of those people too. Some of us get bit by the bug. And the autocross is the great place to drive fast and hard without worrying about wrecking your car. You get a little bit of a feel. That's the best way to start your driving learning journey.
And the great thing about learning in an autocross situation is the learning curve is so compressed because so many things happen in an autocross in such a short period of time that when you first get to the racetrack, while you may be going faster, things are going to be coming at you slower. You're going to be, going through 10 turns in the course of 2 or 3 minutes, where in an autocross you're going through 20 turns in the course of 40 seconds or so.
Yes.
So one of the things you have to do a little bit is you've got to realize that you can slow your hands down a little bit. You can slow your brain down a little bit. You can relax a little bit more on a road course, but you've built those skills. You've built that feel for the edge of traction of those tires, for the edge of traction under braking in an autocross situation, and they translate so well to a track situation.
Next thing, after preparing yourself a little bit before that track day, prepare your car. You're going to be running your car way harder than you ever have unless you're an absolute maniac on the street. Starts, most importantly, brakes. Stopping is the most important part of going fast. You got to be able to slow down when you get to the corner. Put some real live racing brake pads on there. I like Hawk brakes, even if it's not very powerful. Prepare your car with real racing brakes and fresh brake fluid. The better, the better. But if you just get a good fluid for your track day's experience and flush it out with fresh fluid, big step over not doing that at all.
Well, and brakes especially, I mean, you just think about the basic physics involved. Any moving object, that kinetic energy increases with the square of the speed. So as you're going faster, the difference between 60 miles an hour and 80 miles an hour might only feel like you're going a third faster. You're actually you're producing way more kinetic energy than just that additional 20 miles an hour because of that squaring factor of that energy. So you're going to be putting stresses into your car on a track that the physics may all apply from an autocross as far as weight transfer, as far as slip angle, but the energy is much, much greater, and things can go very, very wrong very, very quickly. What's the mindset to take into a track day when maybe you're not ready for competition, but you are still trying to build those skills, and you don't want to get in over your head too quickly?
One thing to help you when you're trying to learn, but you want to stay safe, is to work on one thing at a time. And also, anytime you're going to do something different in the way you drive, do it a little bit at a time. I'm going to give you a warning right now. If you ever ride with an instructor or a better driver than you, or any driver other than you, and you look at the speedometer, if they have it, or TAC, and you say, oh, that guy's going through turn 3 at 91 miles an hour, and I'm only going 81. I'm going to try it at 91. Bad idea. Try it at 82 miles an hour. Anytime you try to go faster, little bit at a time, and always stay within your limits. You can feel your own energy, your own mood. If you're getting worked up, if you find you're grabbing that wheel really hard and your forearms are pumping up, or you come off track and you're panting and tired, you might be pushing too hard. You got to back up and execute. Consistency is another way to improve your times in your driving. If you do the same thing every time, you know what you're doing, you know where your break point is. So if you're going to change it, to try it a little later, you know where it is. It's at that crack in the pavement after the number 3 marker, and you go a car length past that. Makes a big difference.
Yeah, and I think that goes to the point that I get through to a lot of my students, is that the car is always going to be better than you at doing whatever it is out here. All you can do is get that car to its limit.
Better than me?
Even better than
Better than you?
Randy. Yeah, not much better, but more better than me than better than you, obviously.
Oh, you want to get everything the car has.
But you want to get everything that car has,
Safely.
but all you can get is everything that it has.
Yes.
And you can't get any more than everything
Yes, now
that
there
it
is
has.
a truth.
Yes, so if you are working too hard, you are working harder than that car should be working, and because all you can ever get is 100%, and it's not worth trying to get 101%, because 101% is way worse than 99%.
That's the truth.
Especially as you're on the upslope of that learning curve. So you mentioned earlier working with an instructor, and there's a lot of great instructors in this world, and even guys like us have been doing this for a while. I mean, I still value every moment that I can get into the car with an instructor, or even have somebody look at my data afterwards, because there's something that an outside opinion will see that maybe you've become blinded to, or you've sort of forgotten over the years. So what are some good ways to actually work with instructors? What kind of mindset do you want to take in when that instructor is either in the passenger seat or on a radio at a corner, or just reviewing your data with you after a session?
You're very wise, JG. You've earned those gray hairs.
Yes.
If you're not learning, you're standing still. And if you're standing still, you're going backwards, because there's always more coming at you in the world. So I'm still making an effort to learn, and I focus on fundamentals myself. I think about, where am I looking when I go into a corner? I've been racing for almost 40 years, counting the autocross. And so that mental state of being open and willing to learn. I know you're a very successful business person, and you've made millions literally, and you've fixed 3 businesses that were going out of business, but you don't know how to drive yet. And listen to an instructor, listen to what they have to say, figure out how you might apply it or use it, and just stay open to it. Just simply be open to learning. Like if you show up at a school, Skip Barber Racing School, the Radford School, an SCCA driver's school, that's a good sign, because it means you're open to learning. You want to learn. So keep your mind open and listen, and then make an effort to apply it. It's funny, you'll find as you drive track more and more, as you get a little bit better and you go a little quicker, each one of those mile an hour in your corner makes a big difference. If you're going into a corner 1 mile an hour faster, doesn't sound like much. It is a lot, and you'll feel it. And you want to use your eyes to tell you if everything's okay. Always look and think ahead. If you're looking ahead, you're getting that information as soon as possible about whether or not everything's okay. And if everything's not okay, don't go to the power yet. Right? You look ahead and you wait until it's okay, then you go.
Great advice. Yeah, and I think just that little bit of humility behind the wheel, realizing that you are out there in a 3,500-pound missile, and things can go very, very wrong very, very quickly.
It's
Boy,
so true.
it is satisfying when they go right, but ensuring that they continue going right is the responsibility of the guy behind the wheel. And there are certain things you can do, and there are certain mindsets I think you can bring to it that are really going to improve that. Before we go, what is the final piece of sage advice, that last thing that goes through your head before you're strapping that helmet on?
If you're in a track day and you get in big trouble, I want you to know this before you go out there. Anytime you're in big trouble in a car, you don't know where it's going to go. You've lost control. If you're backwards, that's one really good example.
Yeah.
Or anytime that you're on the road and you're fishtailing and you're scared and you don't know what's going to happen next, jam on the brakes and put in the clutch and hold them until you stop. That's your parachute. That's bailing out of the airplane. Something we don't necessarily hear before we get on track for the first time. And it works on the street too. Just jam on the brakes and get the clutch in until you stop. This does three things for you. One, it stops you. A lot of us have these inborn instincts. As a driving instructor, I've seen it many times, to get in trouble and nail the gas. Now, if you don't know where the car is going, why do you want to go there faster? Stay away from the gas when you're losing control and you don't know where the car is going. The brakes are your friend. They stop you. Number two, the people behind you are less likely to hit you because you are now predictable. When you're on the brakes hard, you lock them up. This works with ABS too. And you hit the brakes hard, the car will keep going the direction that it's going until it stops, which is really good because maybe you've seen those scenes in a race on TV, or even more so in the crash videos on YouTube. A car goes one way and it comes back and it goes back and it goes back. The whole time, if the driver had hit the brakes, they would have just stopped and ended this drama. But anytime you feel like you've lost control, jam the brakes on and hold them until it stops.
All right. Thanks to Randy Pobst for hanging out with us at the track today, folks. If you like the stuff we're doing here at Grassroots Motorsports, do me a favor, head right down here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, whichever side they're on. They'll both do the exact same thing. You will get first crack at all the content we are putting on YouTube. And visit us on the web at grassrootsmotorsports.com for all the content from the print magazine and all of our online stuff. Thanks to Randy Pobst. You can catch him over on the Haggerty channel, and we will see you next time at the track.
Want to see more content like this? Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And for more information, visit us online at grassrootsmotorsports.com.